Hello everyone, my name is Madeline and I'm the teaching assistant for Dr. Andrew Sears. Today, I'm excited to share his vision on why Christian higher education must be reinvented, especially for those serving the poor and those struggling with addiction. In this presentation, we'll explore our core values centered around Jesus and how a renewed theological vision can reshape our educational institutions to meet today's challenges. 1. Framing the discussion, organizational culture, and theological vision. Let's start by looking at the concept through the lens of organizational culture theory. In every institution, there are two fundamental layers. Espoused values. These are the declared beliefs and mission statements. In our context, they form the foundation of what we call our theological vision, a commitment to biblical truth that goes far beyond a mere statement on a website. Cultural artifacts. These are the practical, everyday elements of how things are done, everything from hiring practices and staff training to course design and policy. They reflect the values in action. Dr. Sears teaches that when the theological vision sits at the center, it naturally drives and shapes all aspects of an organization. In other words, our operational strategies must flow directly from this core, ensuring that every process upholds our commitment to God's truth. 2. Uncovering the root causes. The 5 Whys. 1. Effective way to deeply understand why change is necessary is by using the 5 Whys method, a tool popularized by Toyota. This approach involves asking why repeatedly, which helps us identify the root causes of our challenges. For our work, this means asking, why must we reinvent Christian higher education? Why are our values more than just attractive ideas? What deep underlying purpose do they serve? Dr. Sears argues that meaningful reinvention isn't done for the sake of change alone. It's grounded in uncovering the real reasons why our current models aren't fully serving God's call in today's context. 3. Learning from biblical patterns, the cycle of redemption and decline. A key insight comes from the biblical history of Israel. Time and again, Israel turned to God for help, received redemption and blessings, became complacent, then drifted into idol worship and bondage. This recurring cycle, often described as redemption and decline, parallels what happens in institutions over time. Initially vibrant and Bible-centered, many institutions eventually risk losing their way by succumbing to external pressures and secular influences. Even prominent organizations like Harvard in its historical context or the YMCA with its early Bible verse branding have experienced shifts away from their original mission-driven identity. The lesson here is clear. If an institution's core identity and mission are compromised by the pressures of secular culture, then its fundamental purpose is at risk. 4. Tim Keller's framework. Recontextualization through a new theological vision. Dr. Sears also draws on the work of Tim Keller, particularly from his book, Center Church. Keller's insights teach us that while timeless truths in the Bible remain unaltered, the way we express and apply them must be recontextualized to suit our culture. Keller outlines 3 essential components. Doctrinal foundation. These are the unchanging biblical truths that provide our core statement of faith. Practical theology. This is about how these eternal truths guide our daily operations and ministry. Theological vision. This refers to the dynamic, context-specific expression of the gospel, a vision that resonates with today's realities while remaining deeply rooted in Scripture. By balancing these elements, we ensure that our institutions speak clearly to contemporary issues without losing sight of our foundational faith. 5. The new wineskin, maintaining a clear Christian identity. Jesus famously said that new wine cannot be contained in old wineskins. In our context, this means that if we aspire to develop a fresh model for Christian higher education, we must also create new organizational frameworks. Our primary identity must remain unmistakably Christian, like a bold logo, while adapting to changing cultural circumstances. Imagine a NASCAR car whose dominant branding represents our core identity. Over time, if secondary, secular influences begin to overshadow that primary identity, the integrity of our mission is at risk. Our goal is to ensure that our Christian identity remains the most prominent feature, guiding every aspect of our institutional strategy. 6. The decline of traditional models and the urgent need for adaptation. Today, many Christian higher education institutions face significant challenges. Originally founded to prepare leaders for global missions or church planting, these schools are increasingly pressured to conform to secular norms, prioritize economic viability, often by focusing on more affluent students, cut programs that specifically train Christians to serve the poor. Dr. Sears projects that over the next few decades, many of these institutions may either secularize, decline, or need to transform dramatically to stay relevant. The reinvention of our educational model is not just a strategic upgrade, it's a necessity if we are to maintain our distinct mission of serving those who are most vulnerable. 7. Strengthening values through professionalization and training. Another critical aspect is the balance between professionalization and value alignment. As organizations grow, they often employ more specialists, which can dilute the original value-based mission if not managed carefully. To address this, City Vision has significantly enhanced staff training. Reporting increases of up to 400% in some cases. Courses such as Aligning Strategy with Theology and Values, Christian Approaches to Counseling and Life Transformation, help ensure that the technical skills of staff are integrated with a deep commitment to biblical truth. These courses not only fortify organizational capacity, but also preserve the core values that define our mission. 8. Conclusion: a call to a radical reinvention. In closing, the reinvention of Christian higher education is much more than a cosmetic update. It is a deep, strategic renewal. This new model places Jesus at the center, ensuring that every facet of our institutions, from high-level strategies to day-to-day operations, is aligned with a steadfast theological vision. Our aim is twofold: to empower institutions to resist secular pressures and remain true to their biblical foundations, to create a dynamic environment where ministries serving the poor and the addicted can thrive, adapt, and make a lasting impact. Dr. Sears envisions a future where Christian higher education remains radically affordable and profoundly relevant, an education that equips leaders not only with skills, but with a relentless commitment to love God and love others. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to your reflections and discussions as we explore these ideas further in our upcoming sessions. Let's move forward together, aligning our strategies with God's enduring vision so that our institutions may flourish and truly serve the needs of our communities. Thank you, and God bless.